What's going on, everybody? My name is Velocifer and welcome back to part 2 of my analysis on what went wrong for the Sentinels in their elimination game versus the 100 Thieves. Before we start, I would like to thank all of you who have been really supportive of my channel because it really helps me press onward. Also, please drop a like or subscribe if you like the video so that I can continue to give you guys more improving content like this. This video is going to be a little bit longer as we are going to continue to take a thorough look at some of the strategies that the Sentinels employed and how there were some creativity but faulty executions, as well as questionable play calls. Then, without further ado, let's dive right in. We're going to start off by taking a look at the two last rounds on Breeze before moving on to Haven because I think it shows how the Sentinels had a good idea overall in terms of how they were going to execute their offensive half, but just came up a little bit short on multiple areas that ultimately ended up in a lopsided score. Let's go ahead and look into round 19.
Gets to defuse, 100 Thieves hit 11.
For some context, Sentinels have used the same Viper wall towards A side on their previous 6 rounds and have always executed towards where they set up their Viper wall, the A side. As a result, when Shroud sets up his Viper wall, the 100 Thieves are conditioned to be worried that it'll be a B hit, with perhaps some mid control by the Sentinels due to Zelsis throwing his knife towards mid doors and Shazam shooting his dart towards Legos. But because the Sentinels use the same Sova dart and KO knife to start the round for 3 rounds straight now, with no one having attacked mid in the previous 2 rounds, the 100 Thieves are willing to give up mid control, as we'll soon see. As soon as Shazam begins to use his drone, both Asuna and Will back off as Asuna goes towards stairs so that he can rotate either fast towards B or mid nest while staying on A site. At the same time, Will is rotating towards B site and Asuna and Will can give up mid control because Cypher Camera is watching doors, Halls is tripped up, and Derek is watching mid through tunnel by jump peeking from B backside. This is a really good way to play defense on Breeze if you want to stack on sites but still have eyes on mid. Except, the Sentinels predicted what the 100 Thieves were going to do, at least initially. With the help of a bunch of intel skills from his team, Tens is able to post up near Legos, and he hits a nasty shot onto Derek not only to get an early pick but give them complete control over mid. This pick onto Derek forces Asuna to rotate towards Nest, and now the A site becomes incredibly weak because the 100 Thieves are still suspecting it will be a B hit because of the Viper wall and how the Sentinels have played so far. At this point, there's a massive advantage for the Sentinels as they're already heavily set up towards A site and basically fake the 100 Thieves really well. The problem begins to unfold when some of the Sentinels players make some extremely unfortunate mistakes. The first is Dapper spending too much time near A door without taking cover. If you look at how Dapper slowly swings around mid doors here, you'll notice that he's completely unaware that he can be exposed to mid nest. He might have thought that Tens had his back, which is really weird because the Sentinel should know that Tens really isn't in position to watch nest because he himself doesn't want to be exposed to 2 different angles. Tens is just focusing on B tunnel, which leaves Dapper completely vulnerable to nest. So this should not have been an easy kill for the 100 Thieves as Dapper should have either stuck near pillar so that he can't be seen from nest, or he should have watched nest and then go through door fast so that he can help the rest of his teammates on A side. The next mistake is a little bit more unfortunate as Zelsis is shot through Viper's pit, but he also shouldn't have been in that position. When Shroud uses his ultimate on A site, you'll notice that the 100 Thieves players are really caught off guard as they aren't entirely sure what to do for a split second or two. This is quite meaningful for players at this level, and it was a sign that the strategy Sentinels used this round was working really well. It's that Dapper already died, and Zelsis is about to die as well. The reason why I say Zelsis made the wrong move here is that he decides to take an unnecessary risk for a high reward play. So, to be fair, if this worked, it might have single-handedly won them the round. But at the same time, it would hurt the Sentinels a lot if Zelsis dies for free here, which he did. It appears that Zelsis was trying to catch a timing onto Stellar as Stellar is spamming through the Viper's pit, But Zelsis really needed to move towards right pyramid because it would have achieved the Sentinels 3 things at once. 1. Zelsis can gain a lot of space for the Sentinels and a lot more control of the site. 2. Zelsis can watch multiple angles at once without being exposed to them simultaneously. And 3. Most importantly, he can watch the flank that Shazam appears to be so worried about so that the bomb can safely get onto site. Instead, Zelsis tries to pop left to get a timing onto Stellar as probably when Stellar is about to reload, but Zelsis just dies to the spam, and at this point, the round becomes extremely difficult for the Sentinels to win as TenZ is completely isolated and the A site isn't even secured. Round 20 goes in a similar way for the Sentinels as they have a really good idea, but just don't execute it too well. I'm going to go over this one a little bit faster, but basically the Sentinels do the same Sova Dart and KO Knife mid, and then post TenZ up near Lego again. The Sentinels initially think about attacking A, except TenZ locates Derek's dart towards tunnel really well that doesn't catch him despite TenZ being really close to it. So the Sentinels make a really smart adjustment by deciding to go back towards B side in anticipation of the 100 Thieves rotating towards A side. The reason why I say this was really smart, despite Will being close to B side rather than A side, is that the Sentinels once again threw the 100 Thieves off guard and gained crucial space to winning the round. The problem is that the Sentinels players are a little bit unaware of the situation once again, and they make some vital mistakes. We do have to consider that it is extremely difficult for any player to remain calm and cool at map point with the time expiring, but had TenZ just held arches for an eventual rotator that you know should be coming soon, TenZ would have most likely killed Will, and the Sentinels probably would have easily taken control of B site together. What's even more confusing here is that the Sentinels have their Viper wall up, and this helps Bang and Derek fight a 2v3 with only one angle threatening them instead of having to be worried about tunnel at the same time. The timing for TenZ here is also really unfortunate because TenZ, he was holding arches for a second or two, and he turned around right before Will arrived. But I think the play here should have been for TenZ to keep watching arches for rotators, either from half wall or even clear it himself. And at the same time, Shout should have put down his Viper wall so that Zelsis can attack towards B alley and backside from tunnel, in combination with the rest of his 3 team players coming from B main. Next, let's move on to Haven, and we'll start off with round 4. This was a 100 Thieves buy round after losing their previous bonus round. So winning this round would have forced the 100 Thieves on an eco the next round, and as a result, this round was practically worth 2 rounds. Before I go into what went wrong or what the Sentinels could have done, let's just take a quick look at how the retake goes on Seaside.
And Celsius has wasted his flash already, so nothing really to follow up except for this, but there is the flash from Shroud too.
And the roll is under. Everything's dumped onto him, but Austin keeps it back. Will does some of his own. The showstopper gets him the third. A Prime Gaming flawless out for 100 Thieves.
Yes, the Sentinels somehow managed to all get eliminated within seconds to give the 100 Thieves a Prime Gaming flawless despite using a Breach ultimate. Well, how in the world did that happen? I think the biggest mistake here by the Sentinels was not taking Garage Control before using Breach ultimate, and there's mainly 2 reasons for this. The first is that the Sentinels were all forced to run out from the same angle from C-Link, making it a lot easier for the 100 Thieves to deal with the Sentinels retake. Secondly, the Breach ultimate could have covered more ground as Asuna didn't get hit by it. Another advantage could have been that Shroud could join the rest of his team on the retake instead of having to watch flank, especially if the Sentinels cleared grass as well. If Shazam and the Sentinels really wanted to use Rolling Thunder from here, so that he can use it as soon as the bomb goes down, Shroud's Paranoia should have been sent more towards this way so that their skills cover as much ground as possible. I don't think there's much value in overlapping the Breach hold and the Omen Paranoia, especially when some of them, like Stellar, can take cover while others not affected by any skills, like Asuna, can do some damage. The retake ultimately came down to hitting Asuna with one of their skills because he almost single-handedly stopped the Sentinels' retake onto Seaside. That being said, ideal usage of skills does not necessarily guarantee that the Sentinels would have won the round, since Will and Derek were out of range from these skills anyway, but it would have given the Sentinels a much better chance, or at least do some econ damage towards the 100 Thieves. Instead, the Sentinels don't aim or use their skills very well, and it results in a very one-sided round despite only the Sentinels investing an ultimate. For the next 2 rounds, we're going to take a quick look at how the Sentinels are just completely on different pages as they fall flat by players kind of doing their own things. This shouldn't be surprising given how little time the Sentinels had to practice together, especially in comparison to other teams, and it really shows how talented these players are given they push the NA LCQ representatives to their limit with this kind of handicap. We're going to start off with round 6, where the Sentinels are playing more aggressively by having 2 people push out mid while Shazam is covering for them. I think the plan here is to get Dapper under stairs, but this turns out kind of awkwardly when Zelsis decides to fall back while Dapper continues to push onwards. It makes you wonder what their play call was here exactly, if they spotted someone, because Zelsis clearly sees Bang and Bang sees him, or at the very least hears the gunshots, right? So if the plan was to fight mid, Zelsis should have moved forward or at least kept his ground. If the plan was simply to plant Dapper onto a sneaky spot near the stairs below mid window, Dapper should have bailed together with Zelsis once they were spotted. I think it's a little bit too hopeful and naive to think that just because Dapper wasn't spotted, they wouldn't check below stairs, especially when Zelsis is spotted. Well, instead, they kind of do 2 different things and Dapper dies entirely alone for no reasons. Meanwhile, Tenz is just walking up towards A lobby without any hesitation, despite it being really early in the round. And the Sentinels have practically no information yet. Not sure what the play call here was, but the Sentinels clearly looked like solo queue players on this round. A similar chain of events occur on the 9th round as the Sentinels play like a bunch of solo queue players once again. Let's first look at how Dapper dies again, because he and Zelsis are clearly on different pages. Zelsis takes cover, as if he's waiting for the rest of his team, while Dapper is peeking out of garage alone, and as a result, he simply gets picked off. It's really weird that there's 2 players in close proximity and only one of them gets picked off. Then Shroud ults in the middle of nowhere, while Zelsis begins to go in alone before Tenz arrives. On this round, the Sentinels literally all fought alone while being in close proximity of each other. I don't think I have ever seen any professional team at this level of competition do such a thing, and it just shows how the Sentinels clearly lacked teamwork probably because of their short time together. Well, that does it for my brief breakdown on what went wrong for the Sentinels versus the 100 Thieves. I hope this doesn't give the expression that the loss was on the Sentinels, because it's impossible for any team, even a professional team, to play perfectly for the entire duration of the game. The 100 Thieves were simply the better team on this night, and they did an amazing job to end up winning the tournament. The Sentinels, however, were really close to beating the 100 Thieves had they not made some of these mistakes I pointed out, which probably is a result simply due to lack of practice time. On the next video, I'll focus on why there was hope for the Sentinels, and should this roster stay together, why there's hope for them in the future to improve. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. If there's a game or content you would like me to cover, please leave a comment below and I'll do my best to respond accordingly. And until next time, see you guys later.